everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a DIY farmhouse bunny decor, but if you're not into farmhouse, I'll show you other alternatives. We're going to use this tiny black and white gingham fabric that I got for $1.97 at Walmart a yard. Plus we're going to use this chair cover, but you just need a piece of white felt. You don't have to use chair cover. I'm going to use some cotton twine to make a pom-pom tail, and that's option as well. And then we're going to use our gluing device as well as our cutting device, because we always need those. And then we're going to use a piece of poster board, color of your choice. I chose white. These are all from the Dollar Tree. And then a picture frame. Size of your choice. Mine is actually in like an 8x10, but it's a little different. And then, of course, your cutting device. And an X-Acto knife or a craft knife, one or the other. Okay, so the first project we're going to do is we're going to create a pillow decal. Now, you can go ahead and just put this directly onto a pillow. Make a pillow sham. We have a pillow sham that we're going to do tomorrow with the chair cover as well. So just to give you an idea, there's lots of different ideas you can do with this. But what we're going to do is we're going to create, basically we're going to make a bunny silhouette. I've taken this bunny from the Dollar Tree hanging sign and I've traced it, and then I'm just going to enlarge it by just expanding some of the lines out. And you can skip this entire step if you want to, and just print a bunny silhouette or a bunny outline of your choice off of the internet. But I did want to show you another option. If you have a bunny silhouette from any DIY project, craft idea, or whatever, then you can go ahead and you can enlarge it by just moving some of the lines over. So I've left some of the key areas, like the space between the bottom of his ears and his back. You want to make sure that you leave a space there, or otherwise it'll just look weird. How long do you want his ears to be? How big is your picture frame? All of these things will determine what size bunny you want. Okay. Now I just took that basic outline, and then I took the bunny to observe what actually the shape of the drawing of the bunny is. So let's put it this way. The way that the factory cuts out around the bunny is not as precise or detailed as the actual bunny itself. So after I expanded or enlarged the bunny shape, then I went ahead and I added in some of the detail. And then it's because it's a silhouette, as much or a little as you want, as you know, right? Now for the bunny pillow decal, we're going to cut this out just using regular scissors. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our fabric and we're going to glue it to the felt. There's a couple of reasons we're doing this. The fabric we have is very lightweight and it won't stick to the burlap pillow. If you're going to glue directly to your pillowcase, then you can skip this step, and we have videos in our DIY playlist as well as the Christmas playlist of how we made an applique glued directly to a pillow case, excuse me. So there's instructions on there. If you are interested, just let me know and I'll send you a link, or like I said, this playlist on my channel. But what we're going to do here is we're just going to take a square of fabric that I made sure was big enough for the bunny, and I'm just gluing it onto the back of this chair cover, which is basically a big piece of white felt, kind of thin, but that's okay. So felt and some burlap does actually act a little bit almost like Velcro. It sticks really nicely without any adhesive. So I've got this beautiful burlap pillow that I received from burlapfabric.com, and now I'm able to make different appliques with it just using felt. If you have rough housing going on in your home, then you may want to make a more permanent application for your pillow applique, but I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to make this removable pillow square situation. So once I've glued it down, I've taken like a credit card. This is actually an old gift card, and I've just used it to spread the glue out a little bit because I don't want big lumps of glue. I want the glue to be nice and thinned out. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that, make sure that the whole area is covered. And then I'm going to cut it out from the actual pillowcase thingy, the chair cover thingy, so that I can go ahead. And I used a black dry erase marker so that you guys could see it on the camera, but you don't have to do that. You could just use a pencil, you know, if the fabric you can see, or a white chalk marker, depending on what kind of fabric you use. So then when you do trace it, you want to make sure that you cut inside the lines towards the object. You want to make sure you do that so that you don't have any black lines, and that the bunny is the right size. And I really did like this silhouette, but when I searched the internet, there were just a ton of different choices. Free printables and free images that you guys can use. There's bunnies standing, there's bunnies sitting, there's bunnies eating, there's bunnies playing. It just, you name it, there were bunnies there doing that. Long-eared, short-eared, ears up tall, ears down low. You know what I mean. So once I have that all cut out, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make him a pom-pom tail. There's another reason we want to use the felt on our fabric, because for our pillow application, because the pom-pom tail is a little weighty, and if we just tried to stick this fabric right on the pillow, it definitely would pull off with the pom-pom. But the fact that it's felt does hold it onto the pillow a little bit longer. Okay. Now, this is an option to make this pom-pom. I'm going to show you a quick way to do it. This is cotton twine, and I've just wrapped it 40 or 50 times around my 3 fingers to get the size that I want, and I'm taking an extra piece and I'm tying it very, very tightly in the middle. And we're going to create a pom-pom with this. This is just a very simple way to make a pom-pom. If you have pom-poms, if you have yarn, if you already have pom-poms made, you don't have to make one. If you liked the jute pom-pom that we made the other day for the moss bunny, you can go ahead and make it in jute. It's entirely up to you. You don't even have to put a pom-pom on there if you don't want to. He can just have his cute little tail cut out. So now we trim it down. So what we do is basically, once we have the pom-pom tied off in the middle, then we go ahead and cut the loops, all of the loops on both ends. And then we're going to trim it, because once we cut the loops on both ends, you'll see some of them are really long, some of them are really short. So I wanted it to be as short as the shortest one. So I went ahead and I trimmed it, just like I was giving it a haircut. Now, a trick that I like to do sometimes when it's very, very thick fabric like this, you can just sit there and play with it for a really long time, and you could brush it out. You can do all these techniques to get it to come together. But what I like to do is I like to take the 2 strings that I used to tie around the middle, and I like to pull them away. And then I like to take the 2 sections, and I put like a bead of hot glue over the string that's tying them in the middle. And then I like squeeze them together to keep those, just basically to bind the middle together a little bit better. That's all. It's not necessary. Trust me, especially when you lay the pom-pom flat, you don't even notice it after a while. But then I went ahead and did that, so I got it where I wanted it to. Make sure you trim it to the height, to the length that you want and the size that you want. So then when I all finished, I went ahead and I just going to glue it on his little butt area. and then this was yesterday, and this morning when I went in there, I realized it was super wrinkly. And I really should have ironed my material first. But what I did was today I went back and I ironed it, and because it has hot glue in it, I covered it with parchment paper. I should have put parchment paper underneath it just to be safe, but it ended up not bleeding through to my mat, which is okay. But I just took a it was on acrylic, excuse me, my iron set on acrylic because of the batting. I'm pretty sure is just acrylic, not batting, the felt. I'm pretty sure it's just acrylic from the Dollar Tree. And then the fabric is polyester. So I just want to make sure I use that low temperature iron, and I ironed over it to get it nice and flat, and it also helps spread out the glue. Now you can see the glue there where glue still looks wet, but it dried clear on my pillowcase that it looks like now. But anyway, he's super cute, and he just sticks right onto that burlap pillow. I can rearrange him and position him any way I want. So the next craft is actually, I made it farmhouse style with the same gingham, but it is not necessary. If you are not into farmhouse and you want more spring colors, then you go ahead and you can change the fabric out to whatever you want it to be. So I've just taken a picture frame. This was from the Dollar Tree. It was originally 2 pictures that said friends. I took the backing off, and I used the backing to measure out the piece of poster board that I wanted to use. I just took the backing and just drew it up there. This poster board from the Dollar Tree actually was the perfect width of the height of the picture frame, so that worked out really well. And then you're just going to cut it out. I just use a scissor because this is just going to go into the picture frame. Basically, we're going to create a mat. Now, to keep it more farmhouse, in my opinion, this poster board has like a shiny side and a matte side. I use the matte side as the good side. So I flipped it over so I could trace the bunny onto the shiny side. Now, this bunny ended up being a little bit taller than this picture frame than I really wanted him to be. So I trimmed him down. I just took a little bit off of the top of his head and his ears and a little bit off of his feet just to make him not quite as wide. Okay, now you want to make sure that you do this on the wrong side. So I wanted this bunny to face in the opposite direction of the fabric bunny. So I actually used the, okay, I traced him in the same direction on the wrong side. So he would be in the reverse side. If that's what you see. If you saw in the thumbnail, they faced each other. That's all I'm saying. Just keep that in mind that you're going to do this backwards. All right. So now this is where you take your craft knife. I'm going to use my cutting mat. This is the Dollar Tree's 2 chopping mats that you get for $1. And I'm just going to use my, I'm not even going to use my X-Acto knife. I'm going to use my Dollar Tree craft knife. And I'm just going to teach you guys a little bit of what I've learned over the years. So first of all, I wanted to share with you that I didn't use marker to do this because there is a chance that the marker would have bled through, and I don't want that. So that's why I zoomed in so you guys can see the pencil lines. So basically, even though that this isn't an X-Acto knife, this is a regular old utility knife from the hardware section at the Dollar Tree. So what I'm trying to do is mostly holding my knife straight, using very, very small wide curves with it. Small cuts, wide curves, but I'm mostly moving the paper. That's the technique I'm trying to teach you. As you can see, we're going a little bit with the hand, but we're mostly moving the paper around. Because this is a really, really non-flexible blade, we want to go ahead and make sure that we move the work and not the knife. All right. Now, there is a couple of where I first started that were not quite cut through. So there's a technique. It's very simple. I just going back over. You can feel the ridge in the paper that you have actually scored it. And then I stuck the utility knife in and then pushed it along inside the cut areas. And I'm just recutting wherever I had cut before. All right. And remember, this is the back side. So the front side looks beautiful. All right. Now we're going to load it into our picture frame. I didn't clean my picture frame or anything, so I just loaded that bunny in. And now here's where you get to make it your own. It doesn't have to be Farmhouse. Do you want to pick out a little pink fat quarter from the dollar store, from Walmart? You can. 97-cent fat quarters. They have at Joann's and Michael's. I don't think they're 97 cents at Joann's and Michael's, but any little bit of pink fabric, any old dress of your granddaughter's, any pretty piece of napkin that was mom's. You know, you can really make this as special as you want to, as personal as you want to. Because we've cut the bunny out of the mat, you can also change this. So had we cut the bunny out of the fabric, he would just be bunny out of fabric. But because we cut the bunny out of the mat, we can change this every single year. Next year, if I want to do all pastel colors, I can go ahead and I can change the fabric out. There's nothing permanent other than cutting the bunny out of the paper. That's the only thing that was permanently done. Everything else is reversible. Okay, so now I'm just showing you how I felt it necessary to trim the fabric. The reason I did that was so that it would lay flat against the glass. I was afraid that if I had fabric buckling up the sides, that maybe it would buckle under the bunny. Okay, so I just want to make sure it was cut inside to fit inside that area. And then I just put the frame back together and I posted it up on my mantle. You could take a bunny tail to this on the outside of the glass and double sticky tape it if you want to. That's an option as well. So I hope you guys really enjoyed these 2 tutorials. I really had fun doing them. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to share with friends and family. Anybody you know might be interested in making one or all of these or either technique, I would really appreciate it. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe. When you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And as always, you take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye!